Welcome to our wonderful night of our showcase for the coming season. My name is Dathus. I am joined here by one of our lovely admins, Xenocat, and we're here to show off the multitude and the wonderful amount of different clubs that we have going on, as well as to bring some refreshers on some very ones that have come back and some brand new ones.
Yeah, I am very excited to go see what all of the clubs that we have to offer this season. I mean, I know what they are, but I'm very excited to showcase these all for you. Uh, I think we're gonna be starting with our restreamed clubs, which are the clubs that, of course, will be broadcast here on the Free Enterprise channel, bi-weekly.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with, the ones that we all know and love between the three different channels that we have, if necessary, mostly Freen and Freen 2. Speaking of, those two are mostly used for our lovely community races.
Yeah, we are going to be, of course, you may have noticed we brought back our community races, I believe last week, or a couple weeks ago. We have community races, our flag set changes every 2 weeks. So we just change it up a little bit so that we keep the community races fresh, just in case you want to dive into a new flag set. We try to keep them interesting, make sure that it doesn't get too stale. We have a suggestion box linked in our Discord. If you would like to submit a flag set for consideration, we do review them and make sure that they are raceable. So if you submit something that's completely unraceable, we won't accept it. Don't do that. But if you have an interesting set of flags that you've been playing and you'd like to see the community take a stab at them, you can submit them there. We do have there's 4 live races of these flags. They're Monday nights at 8 p.m. and then Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Races are open to join for everyone. All skill levels, does not matter. You can, if you've never played a seed before, join the community race. It's fine. It'll be fun. We promise.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, community races are where I personally made the cutting in my teeth. Everyone, honestly, best place to start, if not doing seeds privately. Obviously, we have a multitude of different knowledge, and one way or the other, racing against friends, it's all in good fun. That's what the whole point of the community races are, to bring us together, showcase and learn different things from each other. Oh, this person did it that way. Oh, that might be a good way to learn or how to do it from now on. And also just, the fun shenanigans that can come from people who do really uh, fun checks, or who go and siren up a specific monster in a specific part of the LST. I don't know. I don't know those people.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And for all of our community races, we do restream for runners. So if you want to be restreamed, you are welcome to. However, you do not have to volunteer to be restreamed. You can just run the community race, and that is okay. But I will say the restream is a great way to learn what mistakes you're doing, or learn see ways to improve relative to other runners. It's just so nice to see that side-by-side comparison.
Indeed. Again, everything's all volunteer. We always ask people, like, if you would like to. We have some people who regularly do so. We have some people who don't, and that's 100% up to them. And we appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, as has mentioned, twice a week. And that is the wonderfulness that is our community races.
Yeah, I believe that's about it for our community races. Of course, these are already underway. We will be having them, one on Friday and next Monday, and so on and so forth.
Perfect. And next up, we have one of our returning clubs, and one of the bigger ones that we have people talking about. We have the return of Baron's Hero's Journey.
Oh boy, Baron's Hero's Journey. This club was legendary in season 1 due to some truly awful seed rolling that led that where every single week, I believe, something really out of the ordinary happened. We discovered that B Vanilla is slightly broken. It's fine. Everything's fine. C Alchemie kicked in, where we had just C maybe. It wasn't even a limited character pool, and there were only 6 distinct characters. That was wild. And we have had some really nasty boss locations, and a very ridiculous string of, I think, 7 vanilla things in a row that happened. That was fun, too. 7 vanilla things that were all randomized in the flag set. This club. Anyway, the actual premise of the club, not in regards to the season 1 shenanigans that happened. It's themed around C Hero with distinct number of characters and the permajoin flag. So it's based on a single player RPG experience like the vanilla game, where you have a character that's the protagonist, and then you recruit other characters to be your other members of the party, and then they're in it until the end. So it's a classic RPG party where characters meet, and then they grow together. The flag sets and objectives are themed around the protagonist character each week. There's a rating that goes along with each flag set. So Alchemie has done a wonderful job with rating all of these clubs or all of the flag sets and giving them all a rating from 1 to 10. There are meta objectives, which are not objectives that are actually coded into the randomizer, but there are meta objectives that you should do. Highly recommend. They can either be something an extra stipulation from Alchemie, or just hey, do this thing and you get bonus points kind of thing. Which can be very easy ones that are just flavor, or things that completely change the gameplay. Like I think I've seen one that's once you learn a level 2 elemental spell, you can't use any physical attacks or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was Palin's week, I'm pretty sure.
There's one that's that way. There's one where there's a few. There's a few real good ones. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but that one is a really fun one. If first, second, or third place finishers complete the meta objective, they get to pick the next week's character. So it goes to first place first, then second place, then third place, if they complete the meta objective. If they do not complete the meta objective, they get skipped. And if you chose the previous week, you don't get to choose the next week, just to make sure that not one runner gets to choose all the hero orders. The first restream will be Sunday, July 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, but there will be a watch party, sort of informal restream on this coming Sunday, July 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sunday at 3 p.m. is when the club will be operating this season. That is a change from previous seasons where it would run on Saturday at 3 p.m. So same time, just moved over to the next day.
Yep, and again, come on out if you even just want to race. And as we mentioned, all of these, if you are in the restream or in the race when it is on the restream week, again, you don't have to sign up. Just enjoy and play the lovely meta objectives and see if you can't go around the meta. As actually it was corrected in chat, it was the Porum week, for example, with the tier 2 spells, and everyone ran with 3 female characters as berserkers because Rydia never learns tier 2s if you don't do Dwarf Castle, so everyone skipped it as an example. Yep. But yeah, so that is Baron's Hero's Journey. Great club. One of our big returners, but I think one of our biggest ones is actually the one that is coming up next and near and dear to a lot of people in the community. Welcome to the Pink Puff League. It is a club that is for some of our new and experienced FE players, and we have our captain, Oscar, for who's going to explain the love of her puffs.
Hi there. Yeah, so welcome to the Pink Puff League season, 5 now? I can't count that high. Running out of fingers here. But yeah, in a nutshell, Pink Puff League is a great place to go if you are brand new to the Free Enterprise Randomizer, or you're inexperienced, or you're coming back from a long hiatus because a lot of things have changed. And you can learn in your own speed, or at your own speed, on your own terms. It's also a really great way to learn or to meet and make friends with a good portion of the community. Because guess what? Everybody wants to help each other because we're all super amazing and super friendly, and we want everyone to succeed. So we start off pretty fun with my favorite flag set, Supermarket Sweep, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And over the course of each week, we're going to add and tweak some of the flags to make it a little bit harder, progressively so each time, until y'all super awesome puffs are ready to take on a full-on tournament flag set. We'll do some weekly asyncs so you can kind of get your feet wet with the flags. And those asyncs and the flag set reveal will happen a week before the the next official race. So the first restream is the first big race of the season. That's going to be July 20th, which means there'll be some quote unquote deep lore, which is kind of common at this point for the PPL. It's going to be dropping on Thursday with some information, and then the first async will open up on the 13th. And guess what? And I like saying this, I got to say it last year, and I can still keep saying it. What's really cool about the PPL is it officially produces champions. There are former Pink Puff graduates that have won tournaments now. So, yeah, it's super awesome. It's super cool. And definitely check it out. It's a great place to learn. I think that's about it.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Oscar. I know Pink Puff is probably one of my favorite ones to see you craft the different flag sets and what kind of curveballs you can throw at your puffs, because you help them learn things that they may not learn from specific community events or just running random seeds. You're like, oh, how about what happens if you try this? You've done some amazing crafting. Some that even went on to be featured in our former ladder, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there were some variants of flag sets that have kind of stuck around a bit, and you'll see some staple flag sets coming back for sure. It's like we always do the lunar tour, which is a great way to learn about the moon. Um, there's usually a push beta jump, as much to my chagrin, but it's a great thing to learn, especially because it completely breaks how you play for Enterprise. I try to teach the Eddy strats. I try to set up flag sets that are really good for D machine grinding. Try to do a C hero here and there. But yeah, no, there's a lot of really awesome stuff. And also, I'll be sure to introduce all of you amazing puffs to things like the Restream team, because we'd love to have new people, and that is also a fantastic way to learn and meet and learn about other people within the Free Enterprise community. Not just because, yes, there's a lot of people that do races and stuff, but there's a lot of us that are totally content being behind the scenes, running the shows. I know I'm absolutely one of them. But yeah, it's all in all a good place to go, good place to start off, and puffs for life, really. And y'all are super cute. And there is a possibility that I'm still trying to work on things. I might have a thing in the works for maybe the winner of the first restreamed race. I'm not sure yet. Don't quote me on that, but it might have to do potentially with a GDQ thing.
Very
I'm still
nice.
working on it. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Oscar, for information on the Pink Puff Leap. Again, always one of my favorites just to have the fact that we have a club for our beginning and returning runners, because, again, like we said, we love to be as inclusive as possible within the community.
Yep, and don't forget to go into bot commands and put exclamation join event PPL 5. PPL in capital letters. So definitely do that if you're interested.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Oscar. Again, captain of our Pink Puff League. And
Bye-bye.
bye. And moving right along, we do have the next one that is going to be coming up. Sorry, moved you to the wrong seat there, Zeno. Move you over there. We have our next club coming up. This is one of our newer clubs that we have. As we've gone through some of our veterans, we now have Mom's Spaghetti coming up.
Yeah, and we are now joined by Vitasia, who is the captain of Mom's Spaghetti Club.
Heyo, how's everyone doing?
We are great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your new club?
Absolutely. So following up one of the oldest community clubs in free enterprise, one of the newest, right? Mom's Spaghetti Club. This, the whole concept of this club kind of came to me when I was going through, much like Oscar, I think, does a fantastic job of running the Pink Puff League Club. There are other parts of speed running that I don't think get addressed at different points in time. So I wanted to create a flag set that forced our runners to sit in that weird kind of emotional state that you always get when speed running. Like, you're nervous, you're excited, you have a lot of adrenaline pumping through your body, but you're sitting in a chair playing video games, so it has nowhere to go. So you just kind of have to stew in it in a little bit. And that really impacts the way we think, the way we do puzzle solving, things like that. So my goal when I created Mom's Spaghetti Club is to make you sit and marinate in all that adrenaline for as long as you can. It's a very, very fast sort of seed. We've had, it's estimated, there's 10 different objectives, but only 4 of them have to be complete. And we do not exclude the easy ones. So it's very realistic for there to be 30-minute or shorter seeds that are out there. Most of them run between 30 minutes and an hour 30. We give you all the power in the world and all the objectives, everything that you could possibly do. K-Trap is on T-Wild and T-Wild shops, T-Wildish treasure hunts. So you have all the power in the world accessible to you. But what's your balance between investing time and doing all of that to gain power, or just trying to do objectives as quick as you can with low power? Because every second is a commitment.
Yeah, it's definitely a very different than a lot of our more sort of traditional flag sets where it's usually fairly high completion and the goal is, and honestly, fairly low power, and the goal is to figure out how to get through the whole seed, whereas this is very much a change of pace and really puts the pressure on how much do I really need to get through everything.
Absolutely. And how much you get through changes from seed to seed. At the win game condition, the seed can be over and the hardest fight you had to face could be Ordeals 2. Or the hardest fight you could be is in Dwarf Castle. How much power you need isn't going to be static seed to seed overall. Normally for any sort of zero miss seed, you have to be able to kind of predict and adjust and shop for, power level around 42 to 45 or so. Win game, you have to make those decisions on the fly. And that's why you never get to feel comfortable, I think, in a race. You can never feel rhythm. And that puts you in that kind of weird emotional state where you're always on the edge of your seat and always kind of going. It's part of practicing that I think gets overlooked sometimes, sitting in that emotional state, like I did for years and years and years. But once I figured out how to sit in it, it gets a whole lot better.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really excited to see what these races turn out to look like, because it looks super, super jetty and just so much panic.
All of the panic. And that's where the Mom Spaghetti meme comes from, the original Eminem song, which is where the name of the club comes from. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, something, Mom Spaghetti, implying that he nervous vomited on his sweater before a big show. That's kind of the nerves, excitement feel that we were going for.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this definitely creates that.
Well, fantastic. But so our first club, we are doing both an async and a live race champion. So we're going to be adding up points throughout the club season. But come on, just kind of jump in and join us. We do have our first live restream on Saturday, July 8th, though, right here on Free Enterprise. So looking forward to seeing. We're here for a fast time, not a long time. So it might be in and out pretty quick. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to see on Saturday.
Anyway, happy to answer any questions over in the Mom Spaghetti Club chat if anyone has any questions. But thank you again for everyone for putting this on. I'm really looking forward. Club season is always a favorite of mine.
Oh, what time will that be on Saturday? That's a very good question.
That is, I think that's 3 o'clock. It's taking over what Baron's Hero Jury.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, it will be
3 p.m.
o'clock
Eastern time.
Yeah.
On this Saturday. The old Baron Heroes Journey slot, which is why Baron's Heroes Journey has moved to Sunday.
Yes, absolutely. I knew it was that afternoon. I just wanted to make sure to get it down now. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, first restream on there. It's going to be a fantastic time. And
absolutely.
Hope to see some folks out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and helping to introduce this honestly really exciting club. Oh my gosh. I know the feeling of being completely stressed out and in panic mode and just being in the whole seed. Wow.
Who doesn't? Like, honestly.
It's practice. I think the best runners are the ones who can know they're in that emotional state and do something productive with it because they're just so used to it.
Absolutely. Or who lean into the panic and flow with it. But yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much, Vitasia. I'm excited to see how the club goes, and we're excited to see you on Saturday.
Awesome. Take care, everyone.
And for the last of our live racing clubs that we have coming in, we have yet another brand new one. This is a club that is formed by Y2 Sky and Possumorpheus. This is the Tournament Preparation League. Brought in by, as I mentioned, the two of them. They are some of our higher tier runners, better sages that we have, just a wealth of knowledge and skill that we have within the community. And as you see, they are clubs that are themed around potential tournament situations and ways to deal with the different flag sets and more than just your basic way of approaching some of these situations.
Yeah, it's open to all runners of all levels. It can be top tournament runners, new players. The whole goal is to prepare runners for upcoming tournaments. It's going to be loosely based on prior tournaments, flag sets that have had long-standing or have been used competitively in the community in the past to try and catch people up to sort of what the community is used to, what the top runners have been running, so you're more familiar with the strategies that they employ, and will be generally angled on the harder side of those competitive flag sets, because it's very easy to get through an easier seed without needing to use a whole lot of really out there strategies. There are little things you can do to optimize easier seeds, but it's very hard to. There's not as much challenge. You don't need as much sort of use of niche strategies and high tech and highly technical techniques, I guess, in order to make it through easier seeds. Whereas with harder seeds, you need to really leverage a little bit more of, I don't have the best stuff. How do I still get through this with this not very good party? There is a requirement to record the async runs so that everyone can learn from watching and analyzing and talking about the runs after the asyncs are over. There will be live races as well, which are more exhibitions. Stream or record, yes. You do not have to local record if you stream it. and have the recording that way. The races are going to be formatted a little differently than our usual restreams. We will be having the racers themselves will be doing commentary, and it will be more of a they're both running the seed. It doesn't. We're not focused so much on who wins that seed as much as what are they doing. What are these runners able to do with the seed? How are they able to get through the seed as quickly as possible? And they will be Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. The first restream will be July 15th. So we will have a restream on here every Saturday. It's just going to alternate whether it's a 3 p.m. Eastern for Mom's Spaghetti Club or an 8 p.m. restream for Tournament Preparation Week.
Indeed. I think this is something that we've also needed in addition to, as people were talking for the longest time about PPL, tournament prep is also something that is just really nice to see, like statistics and different ways of going about things with strategies where you don't have to, like you mentioned, don't have to be always niche or not always just like Cecil go burr, where it'll teach you different aspects of running Siege, which I think is probably, it's really nice to get it from people just demonstrating it and having that library out there for people to kind of dig into. It's very similar, I think, to what we used to do in our runner reviews during tournaments, which is something that we should really actually look into bringing back, because
we've been exhausted. We haven't had we have had no energy to put on runner reviews.
Hey, we were there too, Xenocat. You and I were up there for some of the more. I think we did some of the most restreams in the last tournament, but yeah, that is something. As I mentioned, it's something that we could might be bringing back again. But until then, this is another way of looking at it. It's again, they're talking about old tournament seeds. Well, these are different ways to go back onto those different flag sets and just show and review different ways of going things or different aspects of attacking a seed that we never saw. And speaking of things that we never saw, there are some things that you guys are going to see right now. This is the schedule that we have. We're going to have one of each week. As you see, the restreamed races are in their colored ones. We have the weekly community races on our Monday and Friday as we normally have. Tuesdays are going to be the day of rest, and Wednesdays for the community. We have Thursdays, every other Thursday is going to be PPL restreamed, and then as we mentioned, Mom's Spaghetti one Saturday, Tourney Prep on the other Saturday, and Baron's Hero's Journey every other Sunday. So you guys on any given week are going to have between 2 to 4 days of free enterprise in a row. Yeah.
No, we decided to switch to a little bit less of an intense restream schedule than we have operated in the past, but notice the difference between our off day of Tuesday and our open slots on Wednesdays and the off weeks of Thursday and Sunday. That is because we are planning on having showcase restreams throughout this club season. Those will be announced in our Discord, so be sure to join our Discord if you want to keep up to date on those showcase restreams. Those will be happening likely on Wednesdays or the off Thursdays and Sundays when there would not normally be a club restream.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is great, again, for you guys to join in general, join the multitude of different clubs, or if you don't want to join any of our clubs and just watch from afar, play the seeds on your own time, or pick the brain of any of our many knowledgeable players, we're always 100% here to show off everything except for Lit 3 showcases. Those aren't happening anymore. No. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
We might have a Lit 3 showcase restream. I make no promises.
But you know what we will have a little bit of a promise of? We are going to now work onto our async clubs. And we are going to start off with somebody who is actually in the booth right here. It is not me, Xenocat. Would you like to tell us about Trickster Trials?
Sure. Trickster Trials is back for its 4th season. The name keeps getting more ridiculous in RaceBot. I'm sorry to anyone trying to join Trickster Trials Season 4. That doesn't work. The event is called Silly Tricker. Trials are for lit casters.
You're really not sorry about the names. Don't lie to us.
I'm not. No.
You're really not.
The names only get more ridiculous, and I love it. It's great. We use the Lit 3 No Vintage Mystery YAML, so if you want to roll your own practice seeds that are not the async races, you can do Mystery Lit 3 No Vintage with Tricker and go ahead and roll yourself a seed. They are very nasty, I will warn you. You do not get to know the flags in advance. The flags are very rude. Seeds average usually around 3 to 4 hours. They can run longer with bad luck, and if you're not very experienced with very low power situations. Things that are always on, no glitches. None of the glitches are enabled, so you won't be able to take advantage of things like the life glitch to get more experience, or the back row glitch to hit things from the back row when you normally be able to just equip a back row weapon, take it off, be able to hit from the back row naturally with your spoon word. No, thank you. You can't do that anymore. You cannot get Japanese items from drops or steel tables, so you're not going to be stealing any of your sirens or Bacchus or any of that. There's no free key items, no free characters, and there's no push B, no wacky surprises. Yes, the average is 3 to 4 hours because the very, very tiny percent, there is a 0.1% chance that it is Rec 1 win game.
Only 0.1%? You couldn't bump that up to 1%?
No, it's a 0.1%.
Come on, Zeno. We got to change that for season 5. How's that?
Well, it's a 1% chance of like win game at all.
Fair.
It's fine.
Is it?
Just if it is win game, it's just there's only a 0.1% chance that then a 10% chance that it's Rec 1 that is separate.
Ah.
But yeah, it is. There is all sorts of nastiness. There's lots of chances of permadeath, permajoin, sea hero, vanilla agility. No free bosses is probably on. It's like probably T Pro or worse, S Pro or worse. There are worse settings.
Are there?
I would say S empty is worse.
That's a flag set?
Yes.
Today I learned.
S empty is a flag. Also S cabins, which is great when you have.
One.
Oh, T Money S cabins is really fun. If you want to do T Money S cabins, this is the club for you.
No.
Yeah, but you still have to open all the boxes because dark matters are on, probably. So you still have to go get the dark matters.
Now you're really playing with my heart. I still get to find dark matters though. Oh
yeah.
You know what?
It's fine.
That's a good compromise.
No, it's fine. If you like killing dark imps on Mount Hobbs by putting them to sleep with Edward's Dreamer Harp and then jumping on them with Spear Cane, this is the flag set for you.
I'm here for this.
Oh gosh, yeah. But Trials is a fun time. That's like the most extreme situation. It's not always that bad. Sometimes it's fine.
Sometimes
it's fine. You will always get a massive objective list though, so
fair.
It's whatever.
All right, wonderful. I'm excited to see what kind of things people talk about. I kind of keep an eye on your club channel just to see what people say about your different flag sets or what happens. So I'm always excited for that. But I know something that people are also excited for is a different way for us to be playing Free Enterprise. That being the one that the other person in this booth is a head club member or captain of, which is the Tauren Tango. This is our 2v2 flag set that we have. So you grab a partner, you guys want to dance, run a seed together. This is where you get your co-op fix from. The whole point of this is you guys run the seed at the same time, run it asynchronously, as we said with the other asyncs. So these are kind of designed. I've tried to have these flag sets, if they've been tweaked a little bit versus the last season. We had a couple of things that I'd missed and a couple of things that I'm like, I've seen some good work overall. What we're really doing is music is always going to be one of the objectives that will be there because it's the tango. You can't say no to music. You can't dance without music. Then there's 7 other objectives. So we're going to have 6 of 8 this season, just increasing it a little bit more. And the big part of this is one of my favorite ones. We not only have your regular K-Main Summon Moon, we've also thrown on K-Trap. So you have everywhere in the world that these key items could be. Everything's scrambled up there. As well as this season, I've decided to do no free key items. So Bedward is just there's the bed. You have to find Rydia's mom. So this is where it's bi-weekly. I'm going to be throwing up your races, and this is just an extremely one for fun. And it's just, yeah, we're looking at letting people share information however you want to. You can either do it in a doc, you can either just do it audio back and forth with each other, try and remember. But it's, yeah, this is just a club to run things slightly differently. We got a bit of a taste of this with the league that we just finished, the Evelyn Elixir League. But this is more communication aspect versus just, okay, you're running this seed and we're also running the same seed, see how we do. This is now, I'm going to tell you, oh, I found this here, this is where some goodies are, oh, this is where these goodies are. Try and remember back and forth, or try and help it so that you're the only one who gets rabbit holed and your ally, your co-runner is finding where all the goodies are. I've been in that situation multiple times where I get nothing but rabbit holed. But yeah, there are multiple resources. We have a LFG thread that if you don't have a partner but you're interested in, throw in what times you're usually available. You guys can try and find your partners. But yeah, it's a great time, great way to meet new people. And if you're ever worried, it's like, oh, well, you know what? As we've said, this community is full of amazing people to discuss things, learn, and make new friends. Grab yourself a partner and join. This is Tauren Tango Season 5. I may have to shorten it because that is a lot to type in. I'm not trying to rival Xeno's naming conventions here.
You mean you don't want to be typing like a full sentence as your event name every async?
I don't mind doing it because I can just put it in a docket and copy and paste it. You on the other hand.
It's fine.
But yes, that is the Tauren Tango. I hope y'all come out and check it out. I have been keeping the seat warm and taking over the moniker of it. I've had a great time. Everyone seems to really been enjoying it. And yeah, the last tournament season kind of showed that people like this style of gameplay. So hopefully we see more. Speaking of more, we have yet another returning club that we have in the 99 Precenters, yet another club that actually makes use of Tricker's YAML that we've had such great success with, honestly. Might have been one of the best bots we've had for rolling seeds.
Yes. 99 Percenters, the way it works is it's a mystery club with a YAML that starts out generating a it's not a specific flag set. This season, but it is a very mostly static flag set. There's a few things that might be one way or the other, but it's very, okay, here's something friendly that's not going to be too terrible. It changes week to week based on the choices of the players.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some things that are on that, like, oh, there's barriers you have to break through for some of the rougher flags, like K-Trap or turning on wacky flags, for example. But basically, at the end of each week, as people run the seed, as people run the async, you get a certain number of points depending on your finish. People who finish faster actually get fewer points with this club. Forfeiting does not earn you any points, or it earns you very few. But if you finish, but you're not very fast at it, you get a decent amount of points that you can invest into changing up the YAML a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that will all take effect for the next week, and so on and so forth. And every week, the YAML keeps evolving. Season 1 of this turned into Wacky Races, the Async Club. It was glorious. We loved it. Season 2 was very tame.
Aww.
But I've been told it's been because of some rebalancing. But I've been told it's been rebalanced back towards Wacky Races. Not Wacky Races the club yet.
I think this is a sign that we as
I'm looking at that wacky weight, and I want to turn it on so bad. I love wacky flags. Give me the wacky.
I think this is a sign that we as Restream leads need to try and find somebody who wants to put on wacky flag sets in general again, because I know
We need to bring back wacky races. I'm sorry.
We do. We'll talk about that for next club season. How's
yes.
that?
We can talk about that for next club season. But in the meantime, 99%ers is it's a really fun way to. So it's a fun play on the club Enterprise Legacy, which we had running before this, where you get to change the people participating in the club and running the races have some impact on what kinds of flags they're going to be running as the game keeps going, or as the club goes on. And it's really, honestly, a really cool concept for a club, and I love it.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the more interesting concepts of the fact of, instead of just like, oh, well, this is what the club leader wants to do. It's like, no. They're just the maintainer of the YAML, and it's what everybody wants to play, whether it's a good idea or not to throw on certain things.
Well, there are some flags that are not included in the YAML, and you cannot turn them on. So there are limits to how bad it can get. And it starts out very friendly. So it should be fine.
Should be?
Should be.
Should be. Well, we'll take that under advisement. And while we have, again, feel free to join the 99%ers in Discord. Great club. Again, so many fantastic ideas coming out from some of our teams. Speaking of fantastic ideas, I think this next club may be one of my favorites that have come out of the community for ideas. I'm a big fan of Film Friends. Tallgrant has made the wonderful, wonderful club that we have here, and has just had some fantastic designs. And hello, Tallgrant, please talk about Film Friends, because this is, again, the concept of this. I look at it every week, and I love how you do things. Or leave me hanging. I'm fine with that too. You are still muted, my friend.
There we go. I think we're unmuted now.
You are now. Hello.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the wonderful words on the introduction. Film Friends is a bit of a goofy club in a different way than all the wacky flags we've been talking about. We actually like to take a movie. We're looking at movies from 2000 to 2009 this season, and we try to condense that movie into a free enterprise flag set. That's not always the cleanest fit, but we try and boil down our heroic characters into a party that's going to fit and somewhat correspond, and then mimic the plot of the movie through our objectives and maybe one or two other flags we stick in there, and kind of challenge our runners to play the seed. Really, the worst challenge we put on them is Sea Hero plus a restricted party. But the real trick we put on them is, once you're done racing it, can you step back, look at what you just did, and divine out what movie we were trying to get at? We don't actually tell you up front what we did. We challenge you to guess it.
Yeah, I've seen some of the reveals at the end, and I go, that is actually really smart on how you designed some of these to go, and just like the description and the characters. Then I go back afterwards and go, oh, that's fine. I think one of my favorite ones was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, just because it was one of my favorite movies. I think that was one of the ones I saw. But yeah, you've done some great different ones from different movies.
Sometimes the randomizer writes the jokes for us. We had a really good time last season where we pulled Titanic out of there, and we decided we would throw the Magna Key down the well as an objective to symbolize when Rose throws the jewel off the ship at the end of the movie. And what we found out without really thinking about it was, if you're forced them to do the hook route and then you go throw Magna Key, the comment the character will make after you threw it is, well, that's gone.
I forgot about that.
And that was actually, it was not quite the joke we intended, but I think our club really got a kick out of seeing that sort of thing. But we like that. We like sometimes where we cast certain characters and roles, but we just love seeing that aha moment from people who run our club of, realizing what we did. In fact, we actually have a very fun one going on this week. We've got a lot of people who are looking at the seed and laughing. I don't want to say what it is because we're open for a couple more weeks, but yeah, we're fun. It's we do make you do Sea Hero. We kind of, one of our formulating ideas was to give you, this would be a good place to start in Sea Hero just to deal with some of the challenges around it. But we really throw a lot of generosity at you at the beginning. You'll see probably some of the best starting kits you'll ever get from us, and we've been frankly rolling really generous lately too. But yeah, so we're gonna hopefully cover. We are gonna hopefully cycle through and cover all 12 heroes with a different film. We do miss a couple times with it, but more often than not, we feel like we hit the mark and we do something that's fun and clever. And we really just want to have people come out and participate and join us. This is a club that's very much focus less around the competitive racing and more of let's get together and let's have a good time and enjoy this experience.
Yeah, and I think you hit that nail on the head, is the nice enjoyment back and forth between what kind of shenanigans you write versus, you know, how easy and fun and accessible. Again, another great accessible club that we have. But no, thank you very much, Tallgrant. I'm excited to see what lineup of movies you decide you want to bring up. I have one last question, actually. Are these available on VHS only, or do you have the just DVD copies?
Well, since we're in the 2000s, they're of course all available on DVD now.
Perfect. So we can at least have that that great medium out there, so everyone can watch them all together. Yes, another one of our fantastic returning clubs, Film Friends. Thank you very much, Tallgrant. As I mentioned, I'm excited to see the different films you pull out and the different roles you bring people to.
Thank you. I think we got something very, very fun planned.
Perfect. And speaking of fun plans and fun clubs that we have a club coming up that is technically something that I should really be joining, because I am a person who enjoys looting just a little bit way too much. We have one done by yet another one of our restream leads, sgrunt. Looters Anonymous. I need this. I can stop looting whenever I want, but I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna let the club leader speak for himself.
Yeah. So just for kicks, I want to give a little bit of history as to how this particular club came about. It's considered a bit of a mark of pride among the tournament heavy, the top tier racers, to loot as little as possible, because every one of those chests you open up indicates it uses up a little bit of time. It clutters up your inventory. It indicates that you're making a little bit more of an effort to go out of your way to find these items, use these items, and the less the better, right? And so a discussion was brewing at some point surrounding this, and there was talk of loot goblining, and the comment was made that Looters Anonymous sounds like a gimmick club just waiting for someone to figure out a plan. And well, I kind of took that to heart and started thinking of what that club would look like, and consulted a few and ran a few test tastings, and here we are in the start of the third season. And yeah, it's a flag set which is designed to encourage you to open all of the chests. You've got your classic dark matter hunt. You've got passes in chests, and the objective to match to make sure that you actually go out of your way to find those. And everything that's not a dark matter or a pass is a wild tier item. So you can find all of the admin arteries. You can find all of the crystal swords, the Excaliburs, the Masamunes, the White Spears, all of the top tier loot you could possibly hope for just by opening those chests. It's we encourage people just to report on exactly how many chests they opened by the end of the seed, and it's not uncommon to see 200 plus of the 399 chests that are in loot spots that are in free enterprise to be opened over the course of one of these seeds. And things have been refined well enough where these don't really take any longer than your average other seed. It's become a fine art, a fine science at this point. Just looting your way through everything, powering up your party, and then going and winning the seed. It's a blast.
Excellent. Yeah. I am a big fan of looting as much as possible because I'm one of those people who looks at the next treasure chest and said, "But you could have what I'm looking for. You could have that really nice shiny thing that I need."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been very happy with how this has turned out. It's very, very fun to play through.
And I'm glad people are also posting their treasure counts so we can all look and go, ah, yes, good. So we did loot just as much as the other, and that's a fan. That's something I'm very interested in. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and there also is you are running yet another async club on top of Looters Anonymous this time, and it is not about a blue planet this time.
Me running multiple clubs? No, that's completely unheard of. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have Looters Anonymous. We need to have club running in Anonymous for you. You can't. We need to have limit you to one per season next time, man. One per season.
I'm not running as many clubs as I did last club season.
I know, one per season next time. We're toning you down. We're weaning you off, but we are getting you into your next one here, Solo Scramble.
Yeah, so I have this. This club takes two particular inspirations that I'm going to talk about here. I have in the past relatively famously run what I refer to as cursed hook route asyncs. The most famous of which involved a solo Edward against the hook route. Slightly less famous is the one which involves two Tellas and nobody else. But in addition to that, when I was thinking of what else I wanted to run for prospective clubs, I remembered that quite some time ago, or, well, I guess this would be the last time that I saw one of these run was about a year and a half ago. But Alchemie of Barrow's Hero's Journey fame used to run a set of asyncs which are collectively known as Overworld Rush, where your objectives were simply to complete, I believe, Mount Ordeals and Baron Inn, but with a very restrictive set of flags that made it more difficult than you might otherwise expect to do so. And I had the wild idea basically to put the two of those together, and thus we have Solo Scramble, where you have exactly one character and you need to complete two of Baron Inn, Mount Ordeals, or the Waterfall. You have very limited resources available to you. You have one character, and it's good luck, basically. I'm relatively well known for two things in the flag sets that I craft. Looters Anonymous is a bit of an outlier in this respect, but I like open game seeds that are that are intended not to take more than an hour or so to complete. And I'm known for puzzle type seeds where you have limited resources, cursed hook route seeds, that sort of thing. And so this is really the culmination of all of those. Some people would say this belongs to one of the other async clubs that's running this season, but we'll talk about that when we get there. It's these have in all of the asyncs that have run for this so far in the test asyncs. These have proven surprisingly doable. Just requires a little bit of ingenuity on the runner's part.
All right.
Oh, and of course, so the other part of this that I really should highlight is that those people in the club that participate in each race have the opportunity to pick who the hero is for next week's race. And the intent is that we're going to run 12 races throughout the club season, one for each of the 12 heroes. So we started with Rydia, and this week's is Yang. And so we'll have 10 more races past that, and should you join the club and participate, you'll have the opportunity to pick who goes next.
I'm just waiting for Cecil to show up, and then we get the absolute worst back attack, and it's just, oh boy. Oh boy, Solo Cecil, can you defeat the Maga Sisters at the back attack?
Well,
Yeah. The way things are looking, there's a very high chance that Cecil is going to be next week's hero, so you might not have to
Oh
wait very long.
boy, I'm so excited.
that sounds like an absolutely wonderful set of shenanigans, and yeah, I'm excited to see how this one rolls out too. Great little concept of mini seeds and mini puzzles. Something that you don't really think about when it comes to randomizers like this, but it's great the fact that you thought of something like this.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of space for these short little puzzle seeds that we haven't fully explored yet. So it's really interesting to see how these play out.
Indeed. So thank you, Sgrunt. I'm excited to see it, and we'll see if we can curb you down to one async next season.
Good luck with that.
But on the topic of puzzles that we have here, we actually have yet another puzzle style flag set coming up. We have the return of yet another async of building things instead of building your way out of a puzzle. This is building your team. The team building exercises that we have run by Rhybon this season.
Hey, Dathus. Hey, Xenocat. How's it going?
Wonderful,
It's going
my
well.
friend.
All right. Well, I am happy to announce that team building exercises is back for season 2. If some people watching haven't heard of this async club, it started last season, back before the Eblin Elixir League, under the guidance of Loston Churchill. He had a very interesting idea for a club. Many of the clubs you've seen are focused on a theme and a flag set, but this one, not so much. He was more interested in deciding to bring something new to the mix. So the unique thing about this club is that it features a point system that limits the characters the player can take throughout the week seed. Players are given 40 points to play with, and each character you find can take a big chunk out of that, like Cecil costing 16 points and Fusoya costing you 15 points, or a small bite, with lower powered characters like Yang and Edward at only 6 points apiece. And Yang may be a little upset to be, pretty much equivalent with Edward, but is what it is. This can lead to parties of 5 budget characters or a party of 3, composed of like 2 very expensive characters and 1 budget. And with permajoin on, the players that play in this club need to be ready to commit to any character that they choose to take. So beyond the challenges that the flag set presents, players will also have to balance their party's composition based on this limitation. I really like this approach myself, as it brings an additional consideration on how to approach a seed. You can take the first 3 or 4 characters you find and try to get to 40 points as quickly as possible, maximizing your power early, or you can delay your party, or finalizing your party, and wait to complete additional character checks and other things like that. You can hit that one high-powered character or that one perfect character you need to round out your party. Unfortunately, Loston Churchill didn't have the time to carry the club forward, so Nakuri has stepped up to be the brains, beauty, and brawn of the club, and I'm just helping in the shadows a little bit. Nakuri also built an excellent tracker tool that players can use to keep track of their team's point totals and identify which characters can still be added with the remaining point space that they currently have. I wanted to highlight a couple changes this season. First of all, Nakuri and I thought that Loston Churchill did a great job of balancing the character point values last season, so that hasn't changed here in Season 2. However, we did make 3 changes to the flag set itself, with the intent of making it a little more accessible for players. First up, we've turned off See-Buy. This allows you to find the character you may not be sure about taking and punt that decision to later. Say Edward on Hobbs, 6 points, don't really want him. You don't. In previous seasons, See-Buy was on, so if you take him or if you complete that Hobbs check, he's gone for good if you don't take him. Now he'll be waiting for you in the Tower of Wishes in Vitasia in case you happen to find a spoon. Secondly, we've dropped the number of objectives required to win the crystal. Rather than needing 6 or 7, this season you only need to complete 5 of 6, which we hope will speed up seeds a little bit. And finally, we've turned the warp glitch on. This may make players pause a little bit when building their teams to determine if they want to hold out for a black mage so they can take advantage of that check and potentially skip the seal cave. If anyone's interested in joining or learning more, swing on by the Discord. We have the team building exercises channel where anyone can ask questions, review the complete flag set, and see the character costs. Nakuri rolls new seeds every week on Wednesday. So we're wrapping up week 2 tomorrow. That means anyone watching still has time to jump on in this evening and give it a whirl. But yeah, that's about it, unless anyone has any questions.
You actually answered the only one I was going to have was about See-Buy. I didn't realize that last season it was on, and I was curious, like, if See-Buy is on, that makes things even a little more spooky, because if you're holding out for, say, that higher tier character, and you're like, oh, I guess I'll just put points all here, or you think you have an X-Cal, and you're like, oh, I can justify bringing a Cecil if I bring Porum and Yang or Kane kind of thing. but you never see him, and you pass up on an Edge who can wield some decent weapons or anything else. Yeah, that's one of those. Oof. But nice that you relax that a little bit for this season.
Yeah, we made it a little more relaxed, and we made it a little more, I guess, accessible for any players. A lot more flexibility has been added to players in this club. So looking forward to seeing if we can maximize participation. I think we have about like 10, 11 people playing, and there's always room for more. So come on by.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Rhybon. I'm curious to see how this season is receptive, because I know you did a little bit more balancing of character points, and that character counter is wonderful. Thank you, Nakuri, for doing that. That's really cute. Again, so now we bring up I believe this is yet another brand new club coming up here. But we talk about free enterprise as always a good thing, but apparently someone has decided that there are some bad ideas when it comes to running these flag sets, and that person is ScytheMarshall.
Hello. So I have a question for you two. Do you like bad ideas?
I live my life with bad ideas.
I mean, have you seen the club I run? Of course I like bad ideas.
Perfect. Well, at least there are 3 of us who like bad ideas, but hopefully other folks also like bad ideas. So this async club sort of arose from, I guess, what would happen when some people would post really garbage seeds. Or they'd say, well, what happens if we put these flags together? Or what happens when we do this? And then it's awful. Like, sgrunt in chat and earlier on the restream has rolled some of these bad ideas. And what some of us would say is, oh, that's bad ideas club material. And then near the end of the tournament this past time around, I said, oh, you know what? I think I should actually run the club. So this club is all about playing seeds that are objectively capitalized letters, bad ideas. So each week I have a different flag set that's centered around a couple, 1 or 2-ish, maybe sometimes more, but 1 or 2 really bad ideas that if the seed generator isn't particularly nice, it could make the seed really bad or garbage or actually unbeatable. Realistically, they are most of the time still going to be completable. Maybe, but some of them will probably not be completable, or at least it'll be something really bad. And at that point, we'll just be like, you know what? If you can't beat it, you can't beat it. Just hit done with a 23:59:59 time. We'll know what happened. Forfeits you don't need to forfeit if you don't want to. Asyncs run. So I will open and close asyncs Wednesday mornings. So we're just at the end of week 2. So you still have enough time if you want to run it tonight to run our week 2 async, which was themed after one of Alchemie's Hero's Journey flag sets, where we played with 5 Rydias. Some of the bad ideas have stemmed from things that have actually happened. They're not just things that we've twisted things we pulled out of our minds. This particular seed in Hero's Journey was 5 Rydias, and you had to beat Valvalis on the moon. So let Rydia hit things, etc. Post your memes in chat. So the sort of thing that I wanted to do to help people be engaged in the flags is with each flag set, there's a base flag set, and then I'm doing react polls where you can choose one of a couple modifications to the flags. So last week you had the choice, runners had the choice between the misspelled wacky and the telemaneuver wacky, both of which are objectively bad ideas. I won't spoil what happened. Check back tomorrow after I close the async to find out what happened with the misspelled wacky in our race.
Oh, come on. The misspelled wacky is an amazing wacky. Everyone loves it.
Oh, yes, I agree.
It's pure chaos.
That may be one of my favorites. Just
That's why it won. Telemaneuver isn't chaos. Misspelled wacky is pure chaos.
Okay, this is fair. Anyway, I will
I will not spoil what happened with the particulars of the misspelled wacky in that seed, but it is amazing.
It was very good.
Oh yes.
Anyway,
Heroes Media.
so the scoring for the club, who cares? Points, they're fake internet points. We don't matter. Like, they don't matter. Just have fun. The last thing I'll say is we're not going to play something that's like a Cata seed. I did one of those recently. It took me 8 hours. I decided I wasn't going to do any Cata seeds for this club. However, Sugar might roll us something awful the 1 week we use the advanced template YAML. So...
Oh boy, I can't wait for Vanilla can't run, no EXP.
It'll be great. Actually,
Why?
you might not have to wait long for that, actually.
Oh boy.
Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Come hang out. It's again, the points don't matter, so if you see a flag set that sort of looks like, even though it's a bad idea, it'll still be a fun bad idea, just run it anyway. The whole point of this is to give us all an outlet for those really truly garbage seed ideas that you can't do any, like, you just can't do in a tournament or do in a restreamed club. It's something to help us, get that out of our systems. Anyway, I hope folks have fun, enjoy club season, and we'll see you around in the Discord.
All right, so we have learned that we officially have a Whose Clubs It Anyways, where the points don't matter in the Bad Ideas Club. I always love some bad ideas, but what is always a good idea is bringing up different levels of championship. And we have fun flag sets here in the sense of the Sumomo Championship Racing. So we're going to bring our friend Tallgrant back for yet another one of his clubs. You're starting to run on sgrunt's territory there, Tallgrant.
Yeah, but I share the load by having co-captains to help make sure that I don't,
That's
drop
fair.
the ball by myself. And besides, there are actually 4 people responsible for this club. Just only 2 of us are running it here. This is a fixed flag set that was developed specifically for racing between myself, John Burkhead, and Elvin Sorrow. And it was something we kind of cooked up at the end of ZZ5 when we said, hey, we kind of like competing. We love racing with each other. And let's do something that we think is challenging and that we think is interesting and fun to play. And so with the help of a 4th friend of ours named Kenshin, we developed this flag set. And number one question we get about this is, what exactly is a Sumomo? Sumomo is actually a dog. The 4th member of our development team here has a dog who is very much a doge. In fact, if you are familiar with that term, named Sumomo, and we named the flag set after her. But it is a bit of a challenging flag set, specifically in the character settings. What we do is we have See Hero turned on along with Permajoin and Buy and Distinct 7, which means there's a number of characters that will not be in the seed whatsoever. And when one is presented to you, it's very possible that that's the only time you're ever going to see that character, and you have that moment and that moment only to take and put them in your party, which puts some interesting pressure on you because, very early you want those characters, you want that power, but there's that thought in your back of your mind, well, is Cecil hanging around somewhere? Where am I going to get a white mage? And you don't know. And in fact, it's the luck of this flag set. As soon as you fill your party to 5, you get Cecil, and if you hold that slot open for him, you'll find Edwards everywhere.
That sounds like distinct, no dupes, basic parties everywhere. It's like, hey, we're looking for this character. I'm sorry, he's sure not appearing in this seed.
Well, the unfortunate truth of it in this club is there's a high price to be paid sometimes for that, because we've seen people go into Zeromus with only 4 characters. In fact, this week we've already had somebody that went in with 3 just because they kept waiting for someone better to show up than what they were finding. And, with C-Buy, once it's gone, it's gone. So it really stinks to kind of put yourself in a corner. And it's the only time I've really played a flag set and said to myself, man, I really, really wish I'd taken that Tella.
That's fair. Tella is usually a harder character to tag along with.
Pro tip out there: if you see Tella early, take him. That actually that was a defining factor in several races. But so it is a racing. It's async. So we like to do that to open up for everybody's schedule. One of the other things, there's a bit of a wrestling in the roots of this club. So we actually do have a title belt. It's on the line every week. We will present you with a special image that if you are a winner, you are allowed to display for that week on stream. Every week you have to go up and defend it. I believe actually Coffee and Chocobos is the one holding the belt right now.
Ooh.
So we do have that for you. It pays a little bit of tribute to the guys who put this together, but this is a flag set that's meant to be something, hey, let's get that fixed flag set that gives you that feel that you had in the tournament, where it's me, I'm competing with people, I have this kind of thing that I'm getting familiar with and doing over and over again, and there's room to build and optimize inside this and start learning tips and trades in the flag set. So that's really what we do in Sumomo, and I don't know, stupid wrestling memes are a side effect.
I think you're gonna find a fair amount of people in the Discord who are wrestling fans. I know we've got a couple of our restream team members, let alone the Pink Puff Queen herself, who's a fan. So I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one.
Well, and I can also tell you there was a small gathering of free enterprise runners that occurred last month that included an actual title belt, and if for those who like to Easter egg hunt out there, someone very prominent who runs in this community has the belt displayed behind him or her.
Oh,
so it might be worth checking out some of the people who are big names in this community and see if you can spot where the John Con belt is living these days.
You know what? That's something really great to hear, and yeah, I'm excited because I remember we rated you guys a couple of times doing Sumomo stuff, and I'm like, what is this? And then I finally figured, like, oh, that's really cute. I like that, and I'm glad you guys went from a little small club to letting everybody in and everybody getting a shot at the title belt now.
It was hard not to share it with people. It actually grew quite a bit because Cubs Rule stepped in with us and took us to Multithon. And that just kind of blew up awareness of what we were doing.
Very nice. Now, I got one big question. What happens if a runner comes out of nowhere with a steel chair?
Well, it usually creates great drama and increases the ratings for next week's show.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you, Tallgrant. Yet another fantastic club that you and a couple of other people are running, and I am excited to see how things go and where the title belt goes back and forth.
Me too, but I've got to up my game a little bit. There's some good contenders hanging around here now. Not that Brick wasn't great competition before, but we're seeing a lot of big names here. It's really kind of fun.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Tallgrant. We'll see you and see how your two different clubs roll out this season.
Thank you, Dathus.
And next up, we have another async club that is going to be a little near and dear and touching on the heart of me specifically, because I am a big fan of vanilla. We have a little bit of ice cream brought in with Warlink, who is running Edward's Sundae shop.
Well, you two took so long that I ate my sundae that I brought to the beginning of this.
Where was mine?
Well, I ate it. You two took so long.
Oh,
We have a lot of clubs, okay?
Blame Sgrunt and Tallgrant this season, okay?
Okay, I'll put that in the feedback.
Perfect.
Anyways, for this club, this is like the continuation of the Free Enterprise Cinematic Universe that may or may not be happening. it's basically a continuation from the World Championship of hide and seek, in which Dark Elf won, and then Edward cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and basically won by hiding in the giant. So basically, his prize is basically he decides to open up a Sundae shop. So basically, this club is just basically it's a mystery ace instinct, but I'm putting quotes around mystery because I'm giving you the flag set for the whole season. The gimmick is some of the flags can be turned vanilla.
Turned up or down? Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yeah, basically right now, basically each week, Tricker is basically the only employee for this shop is setting up these Sundays, which is the C's. Basically, if you ever watch the scene from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where Rocket explains Groot how to set up the bomb, and Groot keeps pointing the button to destroy everyone. Imagine that, but Tricker pointing the button that turns everything vanilla. So basically, each week, each flag that has a potential of being vanilla, there's a for this week it's a 50% chance of either be vanilla or it's regular flag set. And each week, the weights will change depending on what Tricker rolls. And for example, if K Vanilla's roll for 1 week, then we set that down to 40% vanilla, and the others be moved up to 60. So each week it's going to change of chances of vanilla being rolled for each week, and basically the whole time for when you draw your Sunday is on the fly. Try to figure out what flags are vanilla, and basically use vanilla knowledge of how to route the whole seed.
That's very interesting. So you always have your vanilla ice cream no matter what, and your sprinkles are going to come from the other different flags. That is really interesting.
Yeah, and like the only clubs that like incorporated vanilla in some sort of flags were Sunday Slapdash, which is just basically pure mystery on that stuff, so you don't know ahead of time what this flag set is. And the one season we had from the perspective of which some of the flags that has some vanilla put in, and this is like the easiest way of showcasing the vanilla flag, since there are like 16 flags that have some sort of vanilla or vanilla adjacent flags to showcase, and there are a few that I'm not turning this not being turned on. For example, encounters. I'm not turning E vanilla on because I'm not a monster. I don't want to force you to walk down the LST and run away from encounters. So unless you're one of those people that love to do E vanilla, you can't run. So you do you.
I mean, you have my curiosity, but yeah, I know there's a lot of really interesting mix-ups with those. But no, this sounds like another really interesting club, an interesting way of utilizing the YAML that we have. Tricker has been bringing in so many fun ways of playing with the YAML, and you guys have created fantastic ways of working along with it.
Yeah, and this is my platform of putting some more suggestions for Tricker, saying, hey, can we put something in, like, if this flag is turned on, can we turn off the other flags? Because the baseline flag set is based off ladder standard back in the ladder days, and basically have to just pare down just a little bit to fit the theme. Each week you do 5 objectives. 2 of them are static, which is you get Edward and you get the spoon. Or wait, there's no objective for a spoon. What's the next closest one? Return the pan. I hope for the spoon shows up. So, and for the other 3 quests, objectives are basically objectives that are. It's like tough quests, but like really out of the way if certain vanilla flags are turned on. For example, if key vanilla is turned on, like the really out of way check is complete Zod, because you have to find Twin Harp either by Demas or Bedward, then you have to go through Cave Magnus and then climb all the way up to Zod. So basically, the objectives are sets are chosen by a subset of objectives that are basically out of the way, all that stuff. And if you know certain flags that are turn on vanilla, it will help you on a pathway of, oh, okay, if I have a character objective and see vanilla is on, I know this character will be at this location, so I need this key item instead of gamble on each character check to see if that character shows up.
Interesting. Well, I'm excited to see how the different flags shape out week to week and see how people enjoy the Sundae shop. And hopefully you find some more employees besides Tricker, because we all know how wonderful Tricker can be.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's like, this is a perfect time of getting used to, just to see some of the quirks that, if certain vanilla flags are turned on, there's some quirks that pops up. For example, if B vanilla is rolled, your underground access could be at Odin spots. So if you haven't found your underground access after checking all the usual spots, don't go over to bug reports to say, hey, why my underground access isn't in Odin spot? You just say, you get the reply of, that's part of B vanilla. So yeah, it's just basically you know the flag set. It's just testing on if vanilla's turned on. How well is your vanilla knowledge of Final Fantasy IV? And if you're really good at your vanilla knowledge, why not try out the speedrun for no CW %, which I've been told sub 2 is free.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much, Warlink, and we shall see you in the future.
Thank you, and just a reminder: each Sunday will be served every Sunday. I know that's a given. I want to put it on a Thursday, but I would I get newspapers thrown at me because why put it on a Thursday instead of Sunday? So each Sunday is going to be served on Sunday. Week 1's already been served. I highly recommend trying out this week, since this week's Sunday is like a really good, approachable flag set from what I saw after completing Seed. So if you're interested in trying out, this week is perfect to try it out.
All right. And with that, we get to yet another one of our newer asyncs coming out. Everybody loves our favorite comedian, so what better to do than to let him branch out? Instead of being a comedian, Golbez has started Survivor Hero Island, and we have Guerin here to explain his wonderful club that he's got started.
Good evening, Dathus and Xeno. How are you doing? So, yeah, Survivor Island. Basic concept here is there's a really, I would say, generous basic flag set that starts off with in week 1, which is already finished actually, and the theme is that every week, the heroes who've been stuck on Hero Island, Golbez has aspirations to be a game show host. They're running his little challenges every week. Only one hero is actually be featured every week. There's no guarantee that all 12 will show up. Every week, one of the heroes gets booted off by the winner of the race. And there's a little tweak to the flag set to make it a little bit more challenging, so it should get a little bit harder as the season moves along. So to start off with, just so I remember, there's 6 objectives right now. There'll be 2 every week. One is the Forged Legend Sword and Adamant. Another one is defeat Golbez, because, the host is getting involved in the game. There's also a third objective, which kind of changes week to week, which is you have to find the hero that you booted last week. And that hero is also restricted, so it can't just show up, in one of the free spots at the beginning. And there's 3 more quests right now chosen from the Tough Quest and the Boss Pools. And 5 out of 6 are required, and right now it's win game. One of the tricks is, the runners could decide to turn Xeon if they want to later on down the seed. Right now it's only K main. Options are on Summon, Trap, Moon. So how it evolves is pretty much up to the runners. And yeah, besides that, there's ways to change how many objectives there are. make the characters permajoin, turn off the experience on random encounters, take out the curse string. There's a lot of things people can do to make this a little bit tougher if they want. And along the way, there'll be a few meta objectives to add in some quality of life things, such as maybe bring a hero back that already got booed off if you don't like the choice, maybe putting J-items back in the shops. So, yeah, it can evolve in a lot of different ways. I'm interested to see how the strategy will play out. And I'm also basically just doing a little bit of a lore for it in terms of a game show. Runners are kind of encouraged. They liked the idea to come up with their own scripts or narratives. Maybe do something on their stream. To have fun with if you like to. It's kind of optional. And in the end, when we get to the end of the season, there'll be only one hero left in week 12. And whoever the regular season winner is gets to bring one hero back. And there'll be a 2-hero showdown at the end for a playoff. And right now we're on week 2. So, not to spoil too much, but week 1, Tella was voted out of the pool of heroes, so no more Tella. And the winner chose to also put on the sparse 80 flag for the treasure chest. So even though they're currently wildish max tier 7, there's 20% of the boxes are now empty.
What am I looting?
Well, if you join and do the meta, you could always get rid of the sparse flag. That's one thing that's a little bit interesting there, because I have one meta thing that says take any flag that anybody's picked and you boo it out for the rest of the season. They can't be put back on. So maybe someone really wants Z, and then someone else really doesn't, and they do the meta and they can kick out Z for the rest of the season. Never know how it's going to play. And as far as timing goes, they put in there, these seeds drop on Friday evenings and go for a week. We're currently in the 2nd week, so if you want to join, still about 72 hours to go before I'll close up the 2nd week async, and it'll usually just close before the community race on Friday nights. I think that's all I've got for unless you have any questions about it.
Yeah, it seems pretty straightforward. I would say definitely if you're interested in this club, go check out the channel. There's a lot more details on what specific things can be turned on by winners, what all of the various ways in which the flag set will get a little bit harder are. But yeah, it did look very interesting when I was taking a glance through it earlier. I really do love the clubs that have an arc to them are always my favorites.
Yep, and even though it's only K main, last week's seed was quite a bit of a doozy as far as what it rolled.
Naturally, no, that's what happens when you try to give people nice things. The seed generator is always like, no, you're not gonna have nice things. Sorry.
Yeah, for those who want to find out, in the club, there's spoiler text that tells you exactly what happened in last week's race. And there's also setup for this week's race as well. I do give a little bit of a minor spoiler because it's like a TV show, so in addition to find out who your starting character is, you also find out who your partner is to start off with, what the boss is at Baron 1, and what it gives you. If you want to look at the spoiler before the race starts.
Very interesting. I do like the idea of your little stinger eye catch doing something like that. Great idea. I always love to see how people can take what we currently have and twist it on its head. I'm curious to see who's going to make it to the end of Survivor Hero Island. It's not going to. I hope it's not going to be Cecil, but we'll see.
I mean, right now the only thing we know is that Tella is out, but someone could bring Tella back in if they really want to.
All the way to the end of the season, because whoever is the winner gets to bring back one hero voted out, no matter what, to be the showdown.
Can't wait for Tella to somehow win it all.
Oh, please. I love they're voted out in the first week, and they're back, and they win. Sorry, you want to try that again?
Well, the thing is, if a Tele seed is on there, it's cumulative time of the heroes. So it's like, unless Tele gets a really easy set of objectives, it's probably not going to be the quickest one.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out on that episode of Survivor Hero Island. But Guerin, thank you very much. Fantastic idea. I'm excited for the more manual version of flags being adjusted up and down as well. We all love YAMLs, but nothing beats the good old fashioned. Well, this is how we're directly involving the flag sets.
Yep, and it's the only time you'll probably ever see restrict Tele on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tell is too valuable. We can't have him in an ungated character check.
I don't think that has ever been said on Free Enterprise Air before until just now.
I think if the restrict flag had been around back when ZZ3, absolutely yes.
We don't talk about that tournament anymore. It's over.
It did finally end. Yes, that's true. Not
Yes.
my fault. Tello was the S tier best character. You wanted him in your party if he was available.
He really, really was. I do very much remember that. But I will also remember to tune in to Survivor Hero Island. Thank you very much, Guerin, and we shall see you soon.
Thank you very much. Good night.
And speaking of characters that are returning and things that come back, the full-on Discord may be gone, but we have brought it back. The ladder has had its redux here in an async club run by Fiery Blizzard.
Hey Dathus, hey Xenocat. Not really a club per se, but just something to get people, playing more standardized flag sets. The flag sets that we really got to learn through the ladder that were made, a few of them for the ladder themselves. I thought it was a shame when the ladder disappeared, and so I wanted to, create something that would get people to play these ladder flag sets. And so I came up with the idea, just sort of being like, you know what, I miss mystery ladder seeds. And then I was like, you know what, I miss a few of these. And I know we were talking to Guerin earlier, and it's just like, well, if you were at the tail end of the ladder at 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, you would always end up being Guerin versus Possumorpheus. So yeah, the ladder was sort of dying. It was hard for a lot of people to go for that schedule. So figured, creating it as an async club where people can jump in, talk about the seed afterwards, rather than being limited to 20 minutes. Was going to go better than sort of the tail end of ladder, and it's looking to be that way. So, the way I sort of split this up, I have sort of two groups in rotation, 6-day asyncs, 2 seeds open every other day, around 9 p.m. Eastern. First rotation is more of your standard flag sets, your K main, K moon, K summon flag sets. They were based off the ladder standard ladder hard seeds. And then sort of the second rotation had more of the novelty flag sets. So your supermarket sweep, your push beat a jump, your Fu Wario, sort of the faster ones, your mystery seeds. Currently opened up a ZZ5 Purple Moon. Flag sets that were developed for the ladder were featured in the ladder that I felt like was a shame that we don't really have a way to play it sort of even remotely competitively with the disappearance of ladder. So there's no points, no pressure. If you're feeling like playing a push beat, a jump seed, or a ladder standard, or some modified ladder standard as it may be, those asyncs will be open. Obviously, encourage people to come and join. Just it's an async, so you have 6 days to join and run your seed. Talk about it afterwards. And, hopefully you learn something about the game if you're a newer player. Honestly, a lot of them are pretty high-powered flag sets, so it's a good way to develop those skills. Quite a few of these flag sets, such as Asuka mentioned way back in the beginning of this stream, the Supermarket Sweep flag set, certainly going to be featured on rotation as well.
Yeah, I know I'm very excited to see the ladder come back in some capacity. I always like I tried to stay involved with the ladder even as it was starting to dwindle in popularity, but it being on a very different schedule in terms of my availability compared to what how most people were available made it very difficult to run against anyone.
Yeah, I would say one of the shames about it is that was sort of our way to do 1v1 racing, right? But I'm not going to say that people can't basically take the seat in the async and, schedule a 1v1 against someone, if they want to do something with ladder and run it as a live race against someone else and then just post their times in the async. That's a perfectly valid way to do these asyncs. It's not a club, there are no points involved, so however you want to run the seed, go ahead and do it.
Absolutely. No, and I am very excited to see flag sets like Push B to Jump, which doesn't really have a club for it dedicated to it, making a return in some capacity at least. And the mystery, I have spent so much time curating the ladder mystery YAML, and so it's nice to see that that is still getting used.
Yes, I know my experience with the ladder mystery YAML is half the time it's supermarket sweep-like and half the time it's S-cabins.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, no, so half the time it's very, very nice, and it's like, okay, here's all your power, go blow everything up. And then half the time it's like, you're doing a cataseed. Enjoy. There is no in between.
No, it's always great.
Like, I swear, I have never seen a normal ladder mystery seed.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't exist.
No, they don't. It's very wacky, and it's great, and I love it.
My personal favorite is going about 35 minutes before pressing B.
Oh,
and then pressing B accidentally under
no.
controller and hearing the jump sound, you're like, oh.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, some of my favorites have been... Oh, wait, the dupe glitch is on. That's wonderful. Time to go buy all the S Wild things.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite, I think that I've ever had was a payable Golbez win game seed with the dupe glitch on.
No, what?
It was amazing.
That sounds
I
fantastic.
didn't fight a single boss, and then I realized K-Trap was on. And I needed to do a trap chest.
I was
the seed.
I was waiting for you to say that SL0 was on.
No, K-Trap was on, and I had to do Hairdryer's chest with... fortunately, I had Fusoya, but otherwise everyone was base level, and it was just, oh, well, I need to fight trap chests now. This is fun. The joys of ladder.
Yes, the mystery seeds in general, when you're not sure K-Trap is on, and it's basically towards the very end of the game, you're just like, I'm missing one key item, and I've done everything.
Yeah.
Except for the trap chests on the moon. Ugh. Nah, mystery is probably my favorite of the ladder flag set, and sort of what was spawning this idea. I was like, you know what? Let's bring back some. Let's bring back the entire ladder suite, or most of the ladder suite. I've been changing around the ladder standard, ladder hards, tweaking them a little bit to be a little bit different. Just because some of the flag sets I don't think aged terribly well with what are currently sort of more competitive flag sets, just because minor differences in the flags over time. So
yeah.
Otherwise, half the flags become go find Cecil, go find your Burr in Eblin Castle, and GG's.
Yeah, it's always a struggle to try and be like, hey, how can we make a seed that's not bad?
But yeah, I mean, with the terms of that second for either rotation there, if someone is looking, it's like, I wish I had an async that was, for whatever reason, the 10 out of 10 would play again flag set. We could always add that to a rotation, but the idea is that, yeah, these flags don't really change all that much, and they're good for practicing your skills, whatever you want to practice. Like I said, if you want something very quick, that's your supermarket sweep. If you want something with K-Trap and a lot of power, Fuwario is a great flag set for that. It's also a really fun one. So I encourage everyone to at least try the flag sets if they haven't already, and play the ones that you enjoy.
Yeah, Oh, it's a great opportunity. There's a variety of flag sets, lots of asyncs running simultaneously on this one, so you don't feel like you have to participate in all of the asyncs. You very much can pick and choose what you want to do with Ladder Redux, just like with the ladder when it was still running.
Yes, and this time you do not have to be available to do a 2+ hour seed at a very
it's not
specific
like,
time.
oh, I have to be available to start this mystery seed at this time. Will this be a 20-minute seed or will this be a 3-hour seed? I don't know.
I think one of the things about ladder, the 1v1 racing was nice, but there were definitely towards the end there where it would go 2+ weeks where it'd be like, I want to play ladder mystery, and it would never line up with my schedule. Or when it did at the end, towards the last few ladder seasons, the interest was sort of dwindling, and so even if you were available, it wasn't sure whether or not there would be an even number of players. So I think asyncs really basically get rid of that problem.
I think if there was, one problem with the ladder, that was it. Because there are times it's like, I wanted to play Supermarket Sweep, but they were always at, like, the weirdest times or just not good for my schedule. So, yeah, it's nice that we've got those whenever now.
Yes. And there was some chat about the ladder mystery. Yes, there is no 3-hour time limit on the ladder on the async, but that is I've been part of a double forfeit for mystery ladder because it took both of us 3.5 hours, and I think the lowest time when people were running it after, I want to say CNC got like a 2:46.
Yeah, I think some people beat that one just barely under the 3-hour time limit.
So yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm excited for flag sets like this.
The trick there was to realize that C-Buy was on and there was a Cecil somewhere in the seed.
Yeah.
Test your flags. Mystery is always great. And so are most of these other flags. All of these flag sets are great. Omnidextrous is currently running. I know a lot of people like that one as well. So
I very much agree. Omnidex is a very nice wacky flag.
But yeah, with that, I don't have too much else to say about it. Like I said, opening these asyncs, 2 of them every 48 hours, 9 p.m. Eastern roughly when I'm around. Join the asyncs that look interesting to you. Don't join the ones that don't. Get better at the game, discuss them, maybe do some live races with them if you find other people to do 1v1 or 1v1v1. And with that, I mean, I think it's closing time for me. I don't know about you guys.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Fiery. Glad for you to bring this back, and we'll see you in the async rooms.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Yeah, and so even though that is all the async clubs that we specifically have, that is not everything that we have with our Discord in general. As mentioned, you can do your own pickup races however you so choose. If you want to join any of our clubs, make sure you join our Discord that we have in chat, and it should be linked in discord.gg/ff4fe. Join on, chat up with us. You get some great emotes, great people that you can run around and run different asyncs with as well, or different races.
Yeah. You can also find the Free Enterprise Discord on the Free Enterprise website, which is ff4fe.com. So easy.
Yeah, we make it as easy as possible for you to track us down.
Yeah, there's a big link to the Discord on the front page. It's very easy to find. But yeah, there's so many fun people in the Discord. There's casual pickup races, participation in our community races, and our live restreamed races is going to happen through the Discord. All of our club races run through the Discord. You can get the link to submit community race flag set suggestions, submit suggestions just in general for us to do what you want to see from us in the future. It's so much fun.
Indeed it is. And yeah, come join us. And if you want to be part of the people who we mentioned in the Restream team, those who do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, feel free to join us as well. We take people who do commentary, those who've never done before, those who are veterans, and those who just even want to show off the things in the background. Like the Restreamers that we have, for example, myself, making sure we have this showing on today. And we have Xeno, who also is another one of the marathon in the Restream Lounge dungeon, excuse me. That we're very comfortable with. Feel free to join us. There are cookies, I promise. That's what we say, anyways. If you can find them, I haven't
There are
found them yet.
cookies.
I have.
They're virtual cookies, but there are cookies.
There are. But what I want to do is, thank you very much for joining me, Xenocat, on showing off the lovely showcase we have for all these clubs. We have so many great ones. Feel free to join whichever ones you guys want. If you guys don't feel like joining them, obviously, they're here. It's all for fun. Race free enterprise, however you so choose. And with that, we're actually gonna, normally we do a quick sign off, but I think what we're gonna do is we are going to send everybody over to one of our club leaders for our Sumomo friends. We are actually gonna raid John Burkhead, who is running a seed. Make sure you guys send him a whole bunch of loves and enjoy the stream that he's able to sneak into. You have yourselves a wonderful night, and we shall see you in the Discord.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.